Hello everyone. This is a quick update regarding infection control practices that we are going to be implementing in regards to managing patients with respiratory distress with suspected COVID-19. Now, this doesn't necessarily apply for every patient, but we're going to be talking about our filtering system for our mechanical ventilator and our BVM mask and nebulized medications. Nebulized medications pose a particular risk to us as EMS providers because it's aerosolized and you've got it going everywhere in the ambulance. Also, BVM ventilation poses a significant risk to us as well because we're generally closer to the patient when we're performing BVM ventilations. So there are a few modifications that we have made in response to this based on current recommended practices. So the first one is with your mechanical ventilator. You all know that we have a viral filter here on the patient side of the corrugated tubing. Now this should filter out 99.99% of viral pathogens. However, we don't currently know the exact particle size of COVID-19. What Hamilton recommends and what the WHO recommends is that we also have filters here. You will see that I have placed viral filters both on the exhalation valve, the exhalation valve and the inhalation valve right here. As of right now, our supply of viral filters is a little low. So right now, until we get more stock in, we want to make sure that we have enough for at least every vent and every BVM. So we're not going to be equipping those as of yet, but I will advise you as soon as we have enough to double up like that. Okay, so you're going to want two here, and you can see how it connects. Connects just like, let me get a better view. Connects just like so, like that. Okay, and then you're still going to have the one on the patient side right here. Now, when it comes to aerosolizing medications, let's say you have a patient with suspected COVID-19 and you do have to provide nebulized medications. We can still do that, we just have to do it more carefully and more thoughtfully. If you do have to nebulize medications and you have a strong suspicion that they might have COVID-19 or have been exposed to COVID-19, the best way to do that is through non-invasive. With all of the filter systems that we have on our vent, this is the best case because it will limit the amount of nebulized medications being dispersed through the air. This would not be true if we didn't have a closed system. Some CPAP masks actually exhale directly to the atmosphere. That's not true for our vent. So this is the best thing to do, even if it's not a patient that you would typically put on BiPAP. Now, if they're not that severe, and they have a little bit of wheezing, but they're not in severe distress, maybe we would want to avoid providing nebulized medications to that patient unless their condition absolutely needs it. So if you don't provide nebulized medications to a patient with suspected COVID-19 because of this, then just document thoroughly in your narrative why you did not do so. However, if you really feel the need and you have a high index of suspicion that they have COVID-19 or have been exposed to it, and you want to nebulize medications without using non-invasive ventilation, a mask probably isn't the best thing. Honestly, there's not a good thing, but this setup right here might be the best option that we have. You add a filter on the exhalation side of your TP sneb. That might be the best. Now the patient can still inhale and not exhale directly through this, but you want to encourage them to do so. if you've got a patient with a history of COPD or asthma and they don't have a fever, no travel history, no exposure history, and their symptoms are classic for that disease process, then I don't think you should be that concerned. Okay, moving on to the next piece. You know that we have the new BVM setup, which means that all BVM should have a filter right here. Okay, and a good acronym for this is BEFT. Bag, Entitle, Filter, Tube. Now, I do recommend that you just go ahead and set these up, all right, and put them in your airway bag already set up so you don't have to worry about it. We're going to look into getting filters for the exhalation right here, but right now the ones that we have don't fit on this exhalation port. So your PEEP valve may actually tampen some of the exhalation so that it's not being dispersed as much as it would without a PEEP valve. Now, when it comes to this piece, if this doesn't fit in the bag or you find it too cumbersome, then just get rid of it. But at a minimum, keep the filter and keep the entitled CO2. Just go ahead and set your BVMs up. All right. And that is pretty much all I have for right now. Give me just a second to make sure that I don't have anything to add before I conclude this training video. Also, when you're BVM ventilating, I knew I would have something else to add. When you're ventilating patients with a BVM, ensure that you have a good mask seal, okay? The best way to do this is by monitoring CO2 with BVM ventilations. You don't want to leak, all right? You want it to be as much of a closed system as possible. So more prudence is required, more so now than ever, with ensuring that you have a good bag seal. This may mean sending an extra person to maintain a two-handed mask seal, all right? So I hope this was helpful, and I will send out an email as soon as we get enough viral filters to go on every single ambulance for this setup. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye. Hello, everyone. So I'm sitting here doing vent competency with Taylor Schooler, and I was thinking about another pearl that you all should know in regards to vent management in a patient with suspected COVID-19. Something that you should do if you're transferring a patient from either the hospital's vent or from your vent over to the hospital, before you disconnect them from the vent, you need to put the ventilator in standby mode before you disconnect them. The reason is, if it's not in standby mode and you disconnect the vent, well, what does the vent automatically do? It starts going crazy and starts pushing air out. So Taylor, show them how to put the vent in standby mode. What are you doing? Talk us through it. Come on.
So just press the power button and then hit activate standby.
And there you go. And you'll have to quickly disconnect them. You don't want there to be a lag because you don't want them to, be on the vent with no ventilation. So that's all.